How are you doing? Haven't talked to you in a while. Just wanted to share a silly little project I'm doing today. Kind of funny. Just checking in with you. Right here, I have in this little McDonald's ice cream cup. No, I don't eat it at McDonald's. I don't know where I got this from. Probably trash. But can you see this? Inside that dirt, it's actually kind of like peat, mixture of peat and dirt. There are some seeds. Those seeds are actually nectarines. I had a bag of nectarines, and while my mom was living with me, she's moved out now, by the way. But while she was living with me, we had a bag of nectarines, and we finished all except the last two. Or actually, no, there were four. There were four that were still in that bag, and the bag kind of got pushed to the back of the fridge. And by the time I found them again, they were kind of rotten. So I took the pits out of them, and I let them dry out. I pulled all the flesh off the pit. You know how you have that thing that looks like a peach pit, that wrinkly-looking, big hard stone. And I let it dry really well. I left it out for a few weeks, and it was, just dry as a bone, all four of them. And I looked online. What do you do? How do you plant a nectarine? And I found one site that said you take that big pit, and you have to break the shell off it. I didn't know that. So I said, okay, easy enough. So I went and I got one of those, crab claw crackers, and I put it around that nut, and I squeezed. I almost tore my fingers off, and I think I bent the crab claw cracker. That's how hard that thing is. I ended up going to my toolbox and getting a vice grip. And I grabbed it in the vice grip, and I gave it a mighty squeeze, and the thing exploded. All four of these pits exploded in such a way. And what fell out of each one was what looked exactly like an almond, like a fresh little almond. And that's what you see here. See them? See the little root coming off that? I don't know if that's focusing or not, because I can't see the screen. One moment. Necessary evil of cigar smoking. Got to keep a spittoon nearby. And I put these in the dirt. I soaked that dirt, and I put this in the refrigerator for about 6 weeks. And they said you have to refrigerate it. I wasn't sure why. And said while it's refrigerating, look and see if it throws out any root. And if it does, then they're viable and they will grow. You got to transplant them. So today, I'm going to take these out. See, all four of these. 1, 2, are there more? 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe there are 4. Yeah. All four of them have sprouted. So, I don't know where I'm going to grow a tree in my apartment, but these are old tobacco buckets that I used to grow tobacco plants in. And they still have dirt in them that's pretty viable. I figure I can probably go through there. Maybe I can test the pH or something. And maybe load it with a little more peat and soak it for a bit, and then I'll transplant those. I can only grow them inside because it's about to turn winter here in New England. It's November, 16th today, I think? Saturday? I think it's the 16th. I don't know. But that's what I was going to do today. So it's such a beautiful day out. I came out of my porch. In order to take these dirt buckets here and dig my hand down deep in there and break up all the bud, and aerate it really well. See if there's anything in there I don't want, and then I've got to transplant those seeds in there, which I'll have to do inside, because I'll have to do it near a sink so I can wet everything up. But that was going to be my little project for the day. And in other news, as I mentioned, my mom has moved out. She's moved into a supportive assistance rest home. Nice place. Good people. And my family and I felt good about where she went. And, like most people would, and I'm sure I would too, especially if I was losing my memory. She was a little resistant in the beginning, but she's starting to warm up to it now. You go in there, you're going to fight her all your life. You're going to be a little bit belligerent, especially if you wake up every morning and for a few minutes there, you're not sure where you are. And But she's making friends. Her roommate is wonderful. They put 2 people in a room at that place, and they have a beautiful, spacious, library, living room, activity rooms. Everything is old Victorian design, very pretty, here in Massachusetts. And she's just now learning to get out of her bedroom and go explore those places. That's her home, and that's like her living room. And her activity rooms, they're hers. And then they have bingo, and they have music, and they have trivia, and all stuff like that. And she's been participating slowly. And they serve meals in a nice dining room. It's like a restaurant. They put 4 people at a pretty good sized table, so it's not crowded. Each person has an individualized menu, as many of you probably already know all this. I'm just stating it for the record, I'm just sort of marking a transitional point in all of our lives when Mom had to go live in a supportive assistance facility. You on the emotional side, you feel safer because now there are people around her who are professionally trained to deal with what she's about now. I've had so much trouble walking and moving that it was dangerous to have her living with me. It was only out of necessity that she did. And but if she should fall or hurt herself, I couldn't get to her very quickly, and I couldn't have that. So we lobbied until the caregiver company that she belongs to was able to find a place. Finally, a bed came up in this place I was telling you about. And after a whole bunch of red tape, and trust me, there's a lot of red tape, we got her enrolled there and we got her moved in. Talk about stroke of luck. Her roommate, I won't give any names or the name of the facility, but her roommate just happens to be a retired rest home lead nurse. Of all the people that she could end up living with who knew the system, this lady lived that system for about 50 years. Well, she's wonderful. She's been showing Mom the ropes, and she knows how to deal with it when Mom has a little memory lapse and becomes a bit belligerent. She knows how to deal with it. She's actually called us off at times. No, don't coddle her. Let her have her fit. I'm with her. She's okay. I'm like, wow, if you can put up with that. I mean, I thought for the roommate's sake, let us intervene and quiet things down. But her roommate said, nope. It can be a little difficult to deal with, but you know what? I've learned to deal with it. She's going to learn to deal with it. This is her home. She needs to acclimate into it. She needs to own it for her home. And I told my mother recently, because, she has mostly lucid moments, but there are times when she lapses off. But for the most part, at this point in her life, at the age of 82, she can still recall most things. A lot of important things are gone to her, but most things. If you remind her enough, she'll be like, oh, yeah, and then she'll start filling in the blanks. And now she remembers. Well, I told her, Mom, don't look at this place. She always referred to it as an old age home. Don't stick me in some old age home when I get old. Well, the fact is, it's not, you want to be technical about it. They don't call it an old age home. You could call it a rest home, I suppose, but that's all just semantics and labels. Mostly what it is supportive living. You sleep in your own bed. You do have to split a room with somebody, but this stuff is all paid for by taxes you paid all your life, And in her case. And so I told her, Mom, don't look at it like an old age home. It's not really what it is. True, the people who live here are all elderly. It's not subsidized for people of low income or anything like that. Not that that's a bad thing. She's lived in places like that before, too, because she didn't have an income. She didn't have an earned income, a working income. So she has lived in places like that, but this place is different. This place is paid for by her insurance, and it's covered. And she was very lucky to get into a program where everything is covered. So I told her, Mom, look, you have free activities. You've got free access to beautiful rooms, nice patio, and this is not a lockdown facility. Anytime you want to go out, as long as someone's with you, me or one of my sisters or my nephew or anybody wants to go pick her up, that's fine. Just let them know she's leaving for the day. That's it. There's no, you sign out so that they can account for her in case there's an emergency at the building. They want to make sure they know whether or not she's there. But that's it. And, I think they say you can have her overnight 7 times a calendar year. That's an insurance thing. Which, if you think about it, every other month stay at somebody's house maybe. That's about right, You wouldn't want to do it all the time. I do want her to see the place as her home. So that's where Mom is situated. I said, Mom, look at it like this. It's kind of like a resort, really, if you think about it. You're getting all your meals. One of them, breakfast, is served in your room. Breakfast in bed. And then at noon and supper time, you walk down with your roommate to a nice dining room, and they serve you a beautiful meal. I've seen the food. The meals are nicely prepared. They don't actually cook them there. They have a service that brings these meals pre-prepared. And I look at them, and I would think that they would look like kind of, look pre-packaged. They don't. They look fresh. I wouldn't mind eating that kind of a diet. And Mom, like myself, she's diabetic, so, low carb, and they're trying to control the fats and things like that, and the salt, of course, because of her age, which I should be doing because I've got hypertension. But in her case, she's got all the comforts of home. There's very little limitation on what she can do in there if she wants to. She's got her own little activities. My mother likes to color in coloring books. She likes to do number puzzles, things like that. And if she's left alone to do it, that occupies her time, keeps her mind going. It's not too easy on her eyes, though. But last time I was with her, I was telling her, get out and explore. Walk down the hall, because there are doors. There are doors there. They're locked, but they have codes on them. You can dial the code to get out. Well, they figure that the average person who's got a touch of dementia is not going to remember that code, so it kind of makes the place pretty safe. The building also has an actual memory care unit where the code is a hard code, and they don't tell just anybody. Not even only the staff knows that code. You have to ask someone to open a door for you. That's the memory care unit. That's to keep people from wandering. But Mom's not in that unit yet. So she has pretty good free reign of a rather large building. It's a restored, kind of Victorian-era building. It's really old. The wood fixtures are beautiful. The lights in the ceilings are really high. And everything has that sort of Victorian look to it, where the door frames are all arced. And it's real bent wood, and it's beautiful looking. I mean, I like the place a lot. Spacious. And we moved her in right around Halloween time, so a place like that, pretty easy to decorate for Halloween. So that was kind of nice, but that's Mom's update. So I'm back to living by myself now, which means I can probably make more videos. It was tough to make them with Mom around because, she never knows. She sees me talking to a phone or a camera. Say, what are you doing over there? And I couldn't save that footage. I probably should have. Or I'll say something out loud. She thinks I'm talking to her, and she'll answer me. I'm like, no, Mom, I'm talking to the Pipe Cat channel. The what? Like I said before, you guys are all the Pipe Cat channel. I stole this from 5 Watt World. You're the Pipe Cat channel. I just make the videos. But that's it. That's my update for now. I'm smoking a diesel. I couldn't really smoke while Mom was around because I couldn't take the time to go do it on the porch because she'd be alone in the house, and I couldn't leave her alone. And now I'm enjoying the things that I enjoy. I've been doing more guitar tech work and things like that. And now I'm basically getting my winter indoor planting going. It's just a stupid hobby I have. If you see my laundry room, you'd laugh. You've seen it in previous videos. But that's pretty much it for now. No more recent gas acquisitions of guitars for the time being. Gonna let that sort of sit for a bit. I got a lot of work to do on the ones I already have. Making them into projects or just tweaking them, making them all the way I like them. Back to being a ignorant, shut-in bachelor. I have decided to permanently join a band who invited me in to sit in for one gig last year. and they weren't doing my kind of music. They were doing swing and old soul and blues. And I'm a classic rock guy, or more specifically, like a pop rock kind of guy, from 50 years ago maybe. My musical tastes, as you can see, mostly go to classic rock and pop. But these guys invited me in to try something new. They're a few towns away, in an area really that I've never played in before. I know all the musicians in my immediate area. These guys being a few towns away, I met people I'd never met before. Some of them were great players. All of them, really. I really haven't met any yet that weren't good players. But anyway, for the longest time, it was just me, a bass player and a drummer, and a lady singing. It's her band. And we played a few gigs like that. Very hard to do soul music with just the guitar and bass providing the musical, backdrop. Drummer's really good, tight player. And I brought with me a lot of advice on harmony vocals. They had a little trouble with that. They could do it, but very basic. I brought with me a little bit of experience on how to enhance vocal harmony, to make it sound bigger and better. And I've been bugging them to get a keyboard player, because God, they need one of those more than anything else. They had a horn player when I joined. They had a sax player, really good player, really good, but he was very errant. He didn't learn the songs exactly. He could play really well, but a lot of those guys are like that. They just would rather do stick and move gigs and not belong to any one band. And he decided in the end that that's what he wanted to do, so he left us. So we no longer had a horn, going on, or sax going on. That was very helpful to many of those songs. But while my mom was living with me, that band took a hiatus, basically because I couldn't make it every week. I just couldn't, and I felt bad about it. But what I liked about them is they didn't lose their spirit. They kept that alive, and they kept looking, and they found a keyboard player. They had him come down and audition when I couldn't make it. And they let me know later, we really want to hire this guy. What do you think? And they sent me some clips of him sitting in with them for a gig with a hired guitar player. And I said, that guy's good. So when I came back triumphantly about 2 weeks ago, they said to me, well, Larry, we're glad you're playing with us again. We really want to keep this keyboard player. I said, yeah, oh yeah, with my blessing, absolutely. And then they put it to me, they're like, look, it's kind of been a gray area with you. Are you in this band, or are you not really in this band? And I said, well, I got invited, more than a year ago to sit in with them. And I've been reminding them the whole time, well, I'll fill in for the gigs you have, but you got to really find a guitar player. I decided, after really sitting back and thinking about these guys, that they got great hearts, and they're my age. And my classic rock bands around here are just kind of fizzling out. I just can't keep personnel. Most of my classic rock peers are actually older than me. Many of them are, hitting 70 plus years old, and they love it still, but some of them can't do it, or they're too inconvenienced by it now, or they just, their health won't let them, or they're losing their hearing, what goes on. Or they just plain make excuses because they're sick of it, And those are the people that I had been playing with, that I've been calling my people. But I think I've had sort of a paradigm shift now. And I'm going down the soul and blues route. And now I got that band doing, well, I don't have them doing, but they decided to do, since they had me, they're doing disco now. And a few classic rock songs. And with a new keyboard player, it's a whole new dimension. So that's my latest adventure. I'm going to do that for a while. So I told them, okay, I officially commit. I'll be your guitar player. And they were pretty happy about it. It made me feel good that they wanted to keep me. Because I'm kind of getting out of practice. You see me playing in these videos, I'm starting to suck. Because I haven't done anything official in so long. So now I'm having to practice and learn songs every week. I think it's improving. Few things are concerning me that I haven't really discussed with them. But, I can't walk. And they know that too. And I can't carry things. That's what's great about these guys. They chip right in. They pick up my stuff. They lift it right in to the building for me. I'm like, I feel bad about it, but they insist. And they don't ever bitch about it. They're excited to do it. But I have a new thing now. My left hand, I can't figure it out. But the last two fingers are getting weak for some reason, and they shake. And when I'm playing the guitar and I'm trying to do a lead, I'm clamming a lot of notes that I would fret with my pinky because there's no strength in it. And this morning, for the first time when I woke up, the inner side of my pinky was numb, really numb, like I couldn't feel anything. And I thought, well, maybe it's because that's where I put my diabetic, lancet to check my sugar every morning. I put it on that finger right there most of the time. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just a dead spot from doing that. But then later in the day, it began coming back again. I could feel it. It tingles. And I thought, well, maybe I slept on it wrong. But shortly after the blood returned to it, or whatever it was, I mean, it wasn't changing color or anything, but shortly after that happened, those two fingers began to shake again. They still kind of feel shaky right now. And I played my guitar for a while, and I could just about do it. I'm hoping it's a passing thing. I have no idea whether it is or not. Pardon my spooge. Got my diesel, got my Coke Zero. Got my nectarine seeds that have already started sprouting. I'm going to take these buckets that I have just broken up the buds to and gotten dirt all over my porch and bring them into the kitchen and sit them down on the counter and add some peat to that dirt and figure out the best way to plant those seeds. I got to figure out how to get, was it 4, do we say? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll put 2 in each bucket. And whichever one grows the fastest, I'll prune the other within each bucket. And we'll see. Maybe I can get a little nectarine tree going in the laundry room. I've got timed lights in there. And the humidity seems to be right in that room because sometimes it's humid when I'm doing laundry and sometimes it's not so humid. And the plants that I've put in there seem to like that. You just have to be mindful of the light cycle. I have the little timer on the wall, Have to be mindful of the light cycle. And the light that I'm using is just fluorescent. Standard, kitchen quality white fluorescent lights. For some reason, I've even tried the plant lights and they work. But those kitchen lights work better. They just do. For anybody who's trying to grow plants inside without using one of those, dedicated sun lamps, which I have, by the way, but I will not use it because, man, does that thing run up your electric bill. And it's like the sun, literally. I had it up high in the ceiling, and when it came on, I had to close the laundry room doors because the kitchen was washed with orange light. And that thing was nasty, and I don't know, if I was growing weed maybe, but I wasn't growing weed. I would never do such a thing and have never tried. I've never tried and gotten minor results, and I've never said that it's not worth doing, so I've never stopped doing it again. Never. I would never do such a thing. Especially when all you get is common bud out of it. Doesn't amount to anything that would benefit anybody. Not even me, and I don't even smoke the shit. I really don't. I'm just growing it for other people. Had I grown it, which I haven't. But I found that the plants, all plants that I put in there, love the simple white fluorescent kitchen lights, the 4-foot, double bulb overhead light on top of my laundry machines. So I'm going to have 2 buckets now growing trees, and we'll see what happens with those. I'll probably Google up how to do it. This video has gone on way too long for so little subject, but I wanted to mark the event of my mother having lived with me and having begun probably what's probably going to be the final leg of her journey in the place where she is. Her health is great. She's got diabetes, sure, and she's got dementia, but it's not affecting her physical health. In fact, her doctor said to me, we got to really pick and choose the care she gets, and I'll tell you why. Because your mom is probably going to be with us for a long time. She's a healthy, tough little woman. I said, I could have told you that. Nothing hurts her. Nothing. She's had some falls that probably would have killed me. And she came out of it just complaining. Why does my knee hurt? Why does my arm hurt? Well, just keep the brace on, Mom. Keep the sling on. Until she didn't need them anymore. She's like, I remember having this thing on my arm. Yeah, Mom, you broke your shoulder. But she's tough. And the doctor said to me, more than one doctor said to me, her health is she's probably going to live. She could live another 20 years. In fact, There is a lady who lives across the hallway from my mom, where she is now, who is 103 years old. She sits there knitting all day. She got all of her marbles. All of them. She's just very, very ancient. And one of the attendants said to me, you know, that could be your mom in 20 years, you know. I go, well, she's going to outlive me, that's for sure. But if you're going through something similar, or will soon, the system is different now, you know. Unless you're really rich, which some of you may be. Really look to your parents' insurance, see what they have, and see what they're entitled to. Plan your parents' future and plan your own future. If you haven't got some sort of a plan set up for yourself, think about it. Especially if you're, you know, up past 40. You should really start thinking about that future. I'm glad I did a long time ago. And at this point now, at my age, basically 60, I'll be 60 in March of 2025. At that age, I mean, you know, you're thinking about retirement and how you're going to do it. And I've gotten some financial advisors to help me out. They make money off the back end. They only get paid if they can grow your wealth. You know, if you pick the right people, which I've started exploring doing now. And that's about it. That's my life update. I hope everything's going well for you, and I hope that if you are, you know, dealing with a transitional parent or parents, that it goes smoothly for you. It's a strange feeling, you know, to know that my mom is living in a place where other people are now, you know, taking care of her, and we really only have to visit her and love her and bring her things when she needs them. But all of her needs are taken care of. It's a strange feeling. It's almost like going back in time to when she was self-sufficient, you know, and got everything for herself. So, yeah, it's rather odd. But I've got some of my life back again. So hopefully it's a win-win for everybody. Anyway, that's what's going on here in November of 2024. President-elect is Trump. And we'll see what's going to happen there. And thank you for joining me today. I'm sorry this video is so long, but it's a beautiful day. I'm enjoying my cigar for the first time in months. I'm going to finish my Coke Zero and go plant my nectarine trees. So, hey everybody, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming by. And if you like the video, put a like on it and subscribe. I don't monetize, but it's nice to see the subs. Thank you all. Have a good day.